And when we come in going, whatever may happen, and I'm just the conduit and I'm just going to let it flow and see what happens. That's when visuals come up, or that's when colors show up, or that's when angels step into the room, or that's when things in the body start expelling, like that's where we need to get to. And so this place can be really beautiful. And so oftentimes when working specifically around cancer, you might find that you can hold that space and go, what do you need? What does this part of your body need right now? And let the cancer talk to you, see what happens, hold space for it. But it's not coming from a place of, you need to get out of the body, I have to heal you now, you're rejected. Whereas if you kind of go to, okay, stomach, I hear you, I hear that you're suffering, how can we support you? It changes the way you approach the dis-ease in the body. And then the client may get some information that says, oh, I need to eat slower, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be, then you're coming from a place of, okay, I'm not stepping outside my scope of practice, because this is something Reiki practitioners really need to watch, is that we're not telling them specific foods to eat unless we're a nutritionalist. We're not telling them how to exercise at the gym unless we have training in that. Like, we really need to stay in our lane of just going, this is what showed up for me. Does it make sense to you? Versus, this is what I saw and this is my interpretation. You should do X, Y, and Z. Suffer. And it's that, I don't want to see you suffer. That space is when ego gets involved. That empathy gets like, you're hurting, so I'm hurting now. Right? And when we can go, your journey is your journey. Your cancer may have been a situation that needed to occur. The terminal diagnosis that's coming about is so that maybe someone in the family is learning a lesson through that this was part of the soul agreement that they came in with, to die at this age, at this time, with this diagnosis. And so even if it's a terminal illness, then it's holding space for the spirit, letting the Reiki do the work on not only the body and mind, but letting the spirit know that it's safe to cross over. And how can we support you and the loved ones around you so that this can be an easy and gentle transition rather than a hard one? I mean, when we can get to a place in our practice where it's like, your journey is your journey and my journey is my journey, having these boundaries can really help us in our practice, because then you recognize them, you're seeing them for their soul rather than, I feel sorry for you for going through whatever trauma it is. Because from that place, we can really get out of our own way. We're not trying to fix anyone. We're not trying to impose our beliefs or impose our thoughts. We're just here to hold space for whatever needs to show up. And so I've had terminal patients where it's like an angel might be there with a message to help them cross over. It might be that they are that it could be tied to past life stuff, like all of the things that might show up. We just are here to hold space for whatever needs to unfold, right? Rather than like, I'm going to tell a story I haven't told before. I know a Reiki master he wasn't a Reiki master, a Reiki practitioner that had a cancer patient. And he thought that because the Reiki didn't heal the person physically, the Reiki must not have worked, and he stopped doing Reiki. And that was the saddest story I've ever heard, because he helped him so much because he crossed over in peace. And so the Reiki worked. It worked on the spiritual level, not the physical. So I'm getting emotional because it was someone very close to me in the family, right? So it's like, whatever needs to show up in that space, that is why we're here. That is why we're doing our work. And what a beautiful way to transition with Reiki.